The man everyone forgot. The old human sat alone at the far end of the space station. Every evening, at the same time, he came to the same broken bench near the landing docks. The metal was cold. The air smelled of fuel and dust. Above him, giant ships arrived and left, carrying soldiers, traders, and heroes of the galaxy. No one ever stopped for him. His back was bent. His hair was white. One arm was metal, old and scratched. His coat was faded, once part of a military uniform. The name tag was so worn that no one could read it anymore. To the galaxy, he was nothing. People passed him without looking. Some aliens whispered when they saw him. "That's the useless human," one said. "He fought in the old war," another replied. But humans lost everything. The old man did not react. He did not argue. He did not look angry. He only waited. Every sunset, when the station lights turned orange and the long shadows filled the docks, the man lifted his eyes toward the sky. His eyes were tired, but they were hopeful. He was waiting for someone. No one knew who. The station guards joked about him. Traders laughed. Young soldiers ignored him. "Why does he come here every day?" one guard asked. "Maybe he lost his mind," another said. "Or maybe no one is coming," a third laughed. The old man heard them all. He said nothing. He had learned long ago that words did not change anything. The galaxy had forgotten him, but he remembered everything. He remembered fire in the sky. He remembered screams. He remembered orders that made no sense. He remembered standing between death and someone who should have been his enemy. He remembered a promise. The sun dipped lower. The docks grew quieter. Ships stopped arriving. It was almost time to leave. The old man slowly stood up. His metal leg made a soft clicking sound. He picked up a small bag. Inside were only simple things: food, a water flask, and a small broken badge from a war no one talked about anymore. He looked at the sky one last time. "Not today," he whispered. Then, a shadow moved above the docks. The ground shook slightly. The guard stiffened. "Unscheduled landing," one said. "Small craft," another replied. For shapes came down from the sky. They were small, much smaller than war dragons. Their wings were not fully grown. Their scales shined softly in blue and gold colors. Dragon children. The entire dock froze. People stepped back in fear. Some ran. Some reached for weapons. But the dragon children did not attack. They walked forward, straight toward the old human. The old man did not move. He stared at them, his hands shaking. The smallest dragon stepped ahead. She held something in her claws, a small cloth pouch. The four dragons stopped in front of the man and bowed their heads. The station went silent. Then the smallest dragon spoke. Her voice was soft and clear. "Mama says she is sorry we are late." The words hit like thunder. The old man's bag fell from his hand. His breath stopped. People around them stared in shock. Dragons did not apologize. Dragons did not explain. And dragons never spoke gently to humans. The old man's eyes filled with tears. You came," he said quietly. The dragon children looked up at him. "We promised," another said. "Mama promised." The guards did not know what to do. No one did. "Who is your mother?" someone shouted from behind. The dragon children turned slowly. "Our mama," the smallest said, "is alive because of him." She pointed at the old man. The station exploded into whispers. "That's impossible. A human. With dragons?" The old man dropped to his knees. He touched the ground to steady himself. His hands trembled as he looked at the children. "I waited," he said. "I thought maybe you forgot." The oldest dragon shook his head. "Mama never forgets," he said. "She was just protecting you." The smallest dragon opened the cloth pouch and held it out. Inside was a broken military badge, cleaned, repaired, and shining. The old man recognized it instantly. His badge. He covered his face as tears fell freely now. Across the station, alarms began to sound. Cameras turned. Messages spread fast. A single thought moved through the galaxy. Why would dragon children call a human family? The old man looked up at the sky again. For the first time in many years, he smiled. And far away, something ancient and powerful began to move. The war the galaxy buried. The alarms screamed across the station, but the old man did not hear them. He only looked at the four dragon children. Around them, Soldiers moved into position. Weapons were raised. Fear filled the air like smoke before fire. Dragons meant danger. Dragons meant destruction. But the old man slowly stood up and stepped in front of the children. That single act shocked everyone. A human protecting dragons. "Stand down," one guard shouted. "Old man, move away from them." The veteran did not turn around. "No," he said calmly. His voice was weak, but it carried weight. The kind of weight that came from surviving things no one else could. "These children are not your enemy." The guards hesitated. No one had spoken like that in years. The dragon children stayed close behind him. They trusted him without question, as if this place, this forgotten human, was safe. The old man closed his eyes, and the past came back. The war had begun long before the galaxy understood what it was fighting. Back then, the veteran was not old. He was strong. He wore fresh armor. He believed in orders, in duty, in winning. The galaxy had told him one thing again and again. Dragons were monsters. They burned worlds. They crushed fleets. They showed no mercy. Humans were sent to die first. He remembered the battlefield clearly. A broken moon. Fire everywhere. Ships falling from the sky like rain. His unit was gone in minutes. He was alone. That was when he found her. A dragon, massive and wounded, trapped under broken metal. Her scales were cracked. One wing was torn. Blood, bright and glowing, covered the ground. She should have killed him. He should have killed her. They stared at each other through smoke and fire. His weapon was raised, but she did not attack. She only looked at him and slowly lowered her head. Not in weakness, in pain. In that moment, the veteran understood something terrible. This was not a monster. This was a mother. He lowered his weapon. The radio screamed in his ear. "Kill it. Finish the target. Do not hesitate." He hesitated. Instead, he cut away the metal trapping her wing. He used his last medkit. He stood guard while enemy ships passed overhead. When other soldiers arrived, they found nothing. He told them she was dead. They believed him. That lie destroyed his career, but it saved a life. Back in the present, the old man opened his eyes. The dragon children were watching him closely. "You remember," the oldest dragon said softly. "Yes," the man replied. "Every day." The guards shouted again. Orders came from higher command. "Secure the dragons. Detain the human." The children growled. The sound was low, dangerous, not childish at all. The old man raised his metal hand. "Easy," he said. "Please." They listened. That alone terrified everyone. The smallest dragon stepped forward again. "Mama said the war took everything from you," she said. "Your rank, your home, your name." The man laughed quietly, without humor. "She's not wrong. After the war, humans were blamed, pushed aside, forgotten. The galaxy moved on without them. The veteran was discharged with nothing. No honor, no thanks, only silence. He waited because he had nothing else left. The guards received new orders. Their faces changed. "Command wants answers," one said. "Now." The old man looked up at the sky. "She told me to wait here," he said. "So I did." "For how long?" someone asked. He smiled sadly. "Long enough to forget myself." The dragon children suddenly stiffened. Their heads turned upward. The air began to vibrate. The lights dimmed. Fear rushed through the station like a wave. The children smiled. "She's close," the smallest said. A deep shadow moved across the station. Bigger than any ship. Older than any weapon. The guards stepped back. Some dropped their guns. The old man did not move. He straightened his back. For the first time in decades, he did not look small. Somewhere beyond the clouds of space, something ancient remembered a debt. And the galaxy was about to remember a war it tried to bury. The promise beneath the fire. The station shook. Not from engines. Not from weapons. From fear. Every screen in the docking bay flickered. Long-range sensors screamed warnings no one wanted to hear. Something massive was approaching, and it was not hiding. The guards backed away slowly. Even the bravest among them felt small. The old veteran felt it too. That presence. He had felt it once before, long ago, when the sky was burning. The dragon children stood taller now. Their wings spread slightly, not in threat, but in pride. "She is coming," the smallest said. The old man closed his eyes. and the memory he had buried deeper than any wound finally broke free. After he saved the wounded dragon, he stayed. Days passed on that broken moon. The war moved on without them. Ships came and went. Death followed the loud ones. But in the silence, something else grew. Trust. He brought her water. He scavenged food. He guarded her while she slept, weapon ready, knowing she could still kill him if she wished. She never tried. One night, as fire fell across the sky, she spoke to him for the first time. "You should hate me," she said. "I don't," he answered. That surprised her. "You lost your people because of my kind." He nodded. "Yes." "Then why help me?" He thought for a long time before answering. "Because if I don't, the war wins." The dragon was quiet after that. Days later, she revealed the truth. She was not just a soldier. She was carrying eggs, the future of her bloodline. Enemies were searching for her, not to kill her, but to use her children as weapons. That was when the promise was made. "If I survive," she told him, "my children will know your name." He shook his head. "Names don't matter." She looked directly into his eyes. "Then your sacrifice will." Back in the present, the station commander shouted orders that no one followed. All eyes were on the sky. The space above the docks began to twist, as if reality itself was bending. A massive shadow blocked the stars. Then the voice came. Deep, ancient, calm, halt. One word. Every system on the station shut down. Weapons went dead. Engines fell silent. Even the alarms stopped. The guards fell to their knees without understanding why. The dragon children bowed. The old man did not. He simply looked up. A colossal dragon form emerged from the void. Her scales shone like living metal. Her eyes burned with intelligence, not rage. She was not angry. She was disappointed. "You protected him," she said to the children. "Yes, Mama," they replied together. Her gaze shifted to the old human. Time seemed to slow. The galaxy's most feared being lowered her massive head until her eyes were level with his. "You kept your promise," she said. The old man swallowed. "I waited," he replied. Silence filled the station. Then she did something no dragon had ever done in recorded history. She bowed. To a human. Shock rippled across every channel in the galaxy. "Rise," she said gently. "You are no longer alone." The veteran's hands trembled. "I never wanted a reward," he said. "I know," she answered. "That is why you will receive one." Her wings spread wide, covering the station in shadow. "My children call you family," she continued. "And so do I." Somewhere far away, ancient enemies listened and panicked. Because the strongest dragon in the galaxy had chosen a side, and she chose the human who waited. When the galaxy understood too late, the dragon queen's wings slowly folded. Her massive body hovered above the station, calm but unstoppable. The silence she created was heavier than any weapon. No alarms, no orders. No one dared to breathe. The old veteran stood beneath her shadow. For the first time in his life, he felt something unfamiliar. Safety. The station commander finally found his voice. "Q Queen," he said, forcing the words out. This human is under investigation. He interfered during the war." The dragon queen, turned her head. Just slightly. The commander's words died in his throat. "He saved my life," she said, her voice echoing through every wall and screen. "And more importantly, he saved my children before they were born." The galaxy listened. Every major system had already opened emergency channels. This moment was being broadcast everywhere. The truth could no longer be hidden. During the war, the queen continued, "Your fleets hunted me. Your weapons tore my wings. Your leaders wanted my eggs." Her eyes narrowed. This human stood between me and extinction. The veteran looked down. He had never told his story. No one ever asked. "You erased him," she said, her voice cold now. "You stripped his rank. You buried his name. You left him here to rot while you praised cowards as heroes." Murmurs spread across the station. Some soldiers lowered their heads in shame. Others felt fear for the first time. The dragon children stepped forward and stood beside the old man. "He waited for us," the smallest said. "Every day." The queen's gaze softened. "Yes," she replied. "He waited while the galaxy moved on." Suddenly, the station's long-range sensors screamed back to life. New warnings flashed across every screen. Unidentified fleets detected. The commander's face went pale. Enemy signatures, an officer said. Old war models. The queen laughed softly. They heard I returned, she said, and they are afraid. The dragon children's eyes glowed faintly. The veteran looked up. So, they're coming for you, he said. For us, the queen corrected. A massive explosion rocked the edge of the system. Distant but clear. The enemies had found them. Evacuate the station, someone shouted. The queen did not move. No, she said. This ends now. She lowered her head toward the veteran. Once, she said, you stood alone against an army. Yes, he replied quietly. Stand with me now. The veteran hesitated. His body was old. His war was long over. But then he felt 4 small claws grip his coat. We're scared, one of the children said. But Mama says humans are brave when it matters. He smiled. I suppose we are. He straightened his back. I'll stand. The queen turned to the stars. Let the galaxy watch, she declared. Let them see who they abandoned. Far away, enemy fleets jumped into the system. And for the first time since the war, humanity was not alone. The day fear changed sides. The enemy fleets arrived without warning. Space tore open as dark warships poured into the system, old designs from the Forgotten War. Their hulls were scarred, their weapons crude but powerful. These were ships built for one purpose only: destruction. The station's defenses came online too late. Panic spread through every corridor. Civilians ran. Soldiers shouted. Command channels overlapped in chaos. The Dragon Queen did not move. She hovered in space, alone between the station and the enemy armada. The veteran stood at the observation window, the dragon children beside him. He could feel the old fear crawling back into his chest. The same fear he had felt long ago when humans were sent first to die. They're targeting the station, an officer shouted. The smallest dragon clenched her claws. They want us. The veteran placed a gentle hand on her head. Then they'll have to go through me first, he said. She looked up at him. Mama says you never ran. He smiled sadly. I was never fast enough. The first enemy ship fired. A beam of burning energy cut through space, straight toward the station. The queen moved. She crossed the distance in a blink, her massive body slamming into the beam. It shattered against her scales like rain against a mountain. The enemy fleet hesitated. They had not expected this. She's shielding them, an enemy commander said in disbelief. The Dragon Queen's voice echoed through open space. You had your chance, she said. You chose cruelty. Her wings flared. Fire lit the void. One enemy ship vanished, gone in a flash of white heat. The galaxy watched in silence. But the enemy did not retreat. More ships advanced. Missiles. Plasma fire. Old hatred. Inside the station, the commander turned to the veteran. You, he said urgently. You know their tactics? You fought them. The veteran looked at the screens. Nothing had changed. They still think fear wins wars, he said. He pointed to a weak spot forming in the enemy formation. They're overconfident. They always were. The commander hesitated. Why help us? He asked. After what we did to you. The veteran did not look at him. Because there are children behind me. Orders were given. Human defenses moved with new purpose. The dragon children watched in awe as the old man calmly directed fire, timing, movement, like he had never left the battlefield. The enemy pushed closer. Then something unexpected happened. Small human ships launched from the station. Old models. Outdated. Piloted by veterans no one remembered. They heard. An officer whispered. Humans from nearby systems, they're answering the call. The queen saw them arrive. Her voice softened. So, you were not as alone as they thought. The veteran nodded once. We were just waiting. The enemy commanders panicked. This was not the broken humanity they remembered. This was something worse. Human ships moved in tight formations, protecting civilians, supporting the Dragon Queen, refusing to break. One enemy ship attempted to flee. The queen let it go. Run, she said, and tell them what you saw. The battlefield fell silent. Smoke drifted through space. The station still stood. The children hugged the veteran tightly. "You won," one said. He shook his head. "No," he replied. "We survived." But far away, deeper in the dark, something older stirred. And the war was not finished yet. The price of waiting. The battlefield went quiet. Not peaceful, just empty. Wreckage drifted through space like frozen ghosts. Burning ships slowly faded into darkness. The station was still standing, but barely. Inside, medics ran through halls filled with smoke and injured soldiers. Screens replayed the battle again and again. Across the galaxy, leaders watched in silence. They had just seen something impossible. Humans had not broken. The Dragon Queen landed slowly on the outer platform of the station. Her massive claws touched metal with care. She folded her wings, but her eyes stayed sharp. Victories always carried a cost. The old veteran stood near the airlock, leaning on the rail. His breathing was heavy now. The battle had taken more from him than he showed. The dragon children noticed. "You're hurt," the smallest said, worry in her voice. "I'm fine," he answered, lying gently. But the queen knew better. She lowered her head close to him. "You should not have stood again," she said softly. "Your war ended long ago." He looked up at her. "I waited too long to sit," he replied. Her eyes dimmed. Before she could answer, the station sensor screamed once more. A single signal appeared. Not a fleet. One ship. Ancient. Massive. Moving without stealth. The queen stiffened. Her wings twitched. The dragon children went silent. The veteran felt the fear return, stronger than before. "What is it?" the commander asked. The queen's voice dropped to a whisper. "Judgment." The ship emerged from hyperspace like a scar in reality. Its surface was black, carved with symbols older than the war. No weapons powered up. It did not need them. A voice echoed into every mind on the station. "Dragon Queen," it said. "You broke the balance." The queen stepped forward. "I ended a lie." The voice paused. "You protected a human." The station shook. The veteran straightened, pain screaming through his body. "If punishment is needed," he said, "take me." The dragon children gasped. "No," they cried together. The queen growled, a sound that shook the stars. "He is under my protection." The voice replied coldly. "Then you will pay his price." Energy began to build around the ancient ship. The veteran looked at the children. He knelt with effort. "I waited so you wouldn't," he said gently. "Remember that." The smallest dragon grabbed his arm. "Don't go," she begged. The queen moved instantly, placing herself between the ship and the veteran. "I will not lose him," she declared. The galaxy held its breath. Then, the ancient ship stopped charging. Silence. The voice spoke again, slower now. "This human waited alone." "Yes," the queen said. "He chose mercy," the voice continued. "When no one was watching." The energy faded. Then the balance has already changed. The ship turned away. Judgment passed. The veteran collapsed. The queen caught him. For the first time, she looked afraid. "Stay with me," she whispered. He smiled weakly. "I'm tired," he said. "But I think it was worth it." And the galaxy realized something terrifying. Waiting had a price, and the human had paid it all. The human who changed the ending. The veteran did not wake for a long time. He drifted in a quiet place, somewhere between memory and rest. There was no pain there, no war, no waiting, only soft warmth, like the sun after a long winter. But voices pulled him back. Small voices. "Mama, he's breathing." He promised he wouldn't leave. His eyes slowly opened. White light filled the room. Not the harsh light of a battlefield, but the gentle glow of a healing chamber. Soft energy flowed around him, steady and warm. 4 dragon children hovered close, their eyes bright with relief. "You're still here," the smallest said, her voice shaking. He tried to speak. Only a breath came out. The dragon queen stood behind them. She looked different, less like a ruler, more like someone who had almost lost everything. "You waited," she said quietly, and the universe answered. The veteran closed his eyes again for a moment. When the judgment ship left, she continued, the galaxy changed. Screens around the chamber came to life. Human worlds once ignored were now surrounded by protection. Old veterans were being called back, not to fight, but to be honored. Treaties were being rewritten. Words like weak and useless were disappearing. The balance was broken, the queen said. By kindness. The veteran smiled faintly. That's new. She stepped closer. You never asked for a place, she said. So I will offer one. The dragon children leaned in. Our home, one said proudly. Our family, another added. Tears slipped from the veteran's eyes. I waited my whole life, he whispered, thinking it meant nothing. The queen shook her head. You taught the galaxy how to wait, she said, and how to stand. Outside the chamber, millions watched. The human who was forgotten was now remembered. But he did not stand on a throne. He sat beneath open skies, surrounded by dragon children, teaching them simple things, stories, patience, and why mercy matters. The galaxy learned its final lesson. Power fades, fear fails, but a human who waits with courage